Welcome to PositivePower21.org with Kimmy Kim with eLATION Radio. eLATION Radio is all about uplifting souls worldwide. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Hello today to the show for and by James Bond, the Life Coach. Today I wanted to discuss with you about your core. Who are you? Better yet, who were you at your core? I have a lot of clients, well, quite a few clients actually, that have just issues with their significant other, whether it be a boyfriend, girlfriend, a wife, a husband, someone that's close to them, a workmate sometimes as well. Well, I wanted to kind of discuss that tonight because at the end of the day, you always have to make sure and look back to who you were before that person. Too many people change. Too many people focus on the wrong part, the wrong portion, the wrong areas. That person you're with should have liked you, loved you for who you are, but you thought for some strange reason that it's needed or it was okay to change who you are, to adapt to that person. Instead of adapting together, you adapted to that person. So now that you're no longer together, or now that you're been together for 5, 10, 15, 20 or more years, you don't like that person. That person doesn't like you. But yet, you don't understand why. Well, it's because you've changed who you are. Your core is different. Now, it's okay to grow with each other. It's okay to grow into different areas. That's awesome. You should grow. But growth and change are two different things. Change meaning you've morphed into something else that you weren't to be anyway. You have changed all of your standards. You have changed all of your focus. You need to understand, again, that person liked you for your core. So let's look back. And you say, you know what? I didn't like to wear this. I don't like to wear that. But now I wear this and wear that because this person likes me to wear it. Well, you're uncomfortable wearing that. You're uncomfortable dressed in that. You're uncomfortable walking around like that. So now you're frustrated and you're mentally and spiritually beat down. You need to stick to your core, the core of who you are. The person that your parents, your grandparents sold into you, the person that person we're talking about, he or she, was attracted to that person. They're not attracted to who you have become. They were attracted to that person. So that in this situation could be, again, with a significant other. It could be with a job even. That company, they hired you for your morals. They hired you for your character. They hired you for your core values. And now because they have changed, you have changed. So now your performance is not where it needs to be. That's because you've lost track of your core. You're starting to fluctuate with your character. And that's something that should not change. So what I wanted to find out, if anybody wants to call into that, of course, we can discuss that in more detail. We can discuss that and discuss a few other things as well. But I kind of want to stick tonight mostly with your core. Why have you changed? Someone a long time ago told you something, said something to you that was really aimed and really had you focusing on, wow, this person or that person likes this about me. And guess what? I like that about me. And then as you got older, you got into relationships, again, job or personal, and someone said, you will look good in this role. You will look good in that role. You will look good wearing this. And then you thought, well, maybe it's time to make this person or that person happy. You lost track of who you are, your core. It's so important to be focused on that. So if anybody wants to call in now, I'd appreciate you calling in, and you can just hit the number there. And then the number is on Facebook as well. But you can call and ask questions, or you can comment about it as well also. So you go back, and let's start back to let's start with third grade. Third grade, you're kind of getting out of the normal just coloring and drawing and getting out of the little shapes and things. You start to do actual work. Fourth grade, more work. Fifth grade, more work. The dreaded sixth grade. Now, that's when you start trying to figure out who you are. trying to get a little more personable, a little more, find out what makes you happy, what makes you sad, in more detail. There's more structure with it. And then in some eras of time, there's also the time in a grade when you change schools. You went to what we used to call middle school. Now they have different grades, levels, and different things like that. But so now you're trying to fit in. Instead of trying to make people fit into you, you try to fit into them. Not a good thing. But you know what? So you don't know any better yet. But yet you have these awesome parents that try to keep you focused. But then some people have deficient parents. Not bad parents, because I don't believe there's bad parents. I personally believe there's deficient parents. Ones who just don't know any better. Ones who are not trained by their parents. So I use the word deficient. I'm a very key person on changing word structures and using different words and vocabulary. So let's say deficient. So they did not rescue you, so now you start to change. 7th, 8th grade, you change. 9th, 10th grade, you change again. Your senior year, you've changed so much you lost track. You get to college. Now you're looking for people to help sustain your self-esteem because you've lost it, and you don't know where you lost it. But all you have to do is, for one, pray, ask for guidance, discernment, and really understand that you should like you, because the core of you understands who you are. But because of the mask that you've had to put on over the years, you've lost track of the real you. So that is the main thing. You have to get back to your core. What makes you happy? What makes you laugh? What gives you joy? What makes you smile? What makes you sad? What makes you cry? Is it movies? Do you get joy out of talking to people, helping people? One of the things that I've done for years, and some people thought it was pretty strange, but I've always been pretty independent, about 150%, not caring what people think, which is benefiting me. And sometimes people think that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I really have no interest in what people think. So I've enjoyed visiting hospitals, going in there, signing in, reading to children in the children's ward, or sitting and talking to seniors. Something that just really has always excited me about doing that, because the seniors have dramatic and have awesome stories, and the kids are lonely, they're lost, and then in a hospital, there's so much transition. There's death roaming, there's life in the hallways, there's all these things happening. So that's one of the things that I like doing, just visiting hospitals. So I'm traveling, just walk in and sign, ask if I could do that or not. Of course, they want to make sure your ID and everything like that, of course. In your hometown, you can actually sign up to do that. Then you can run a background check, of course, make sure everything is who you are and so forth. But a lot of them, they have enough discernment and proper ID, in the room, of course, they'll allow you to do that also as well. So that's something that I think you should understand more about yourself as your core. Take yourself to the movies. Take yourself to dinner sometime. Don't always look not to be by yourself, because if you don't like yourself, you are by yourself anyway. That's the most important thing about this journey that we're on. It is shorter than we think it is, but it's also going to be filled with excitement. It can be filled with fulfillment. So your core is really going to be that person that's always trying to speak, that person that likes to make snowballs in the winter, that person that likes to make snow cones, that person that likes to eat peanut butter with their finger, that person that likes to just go around and just step in front of people at the grocery store and buy their grocery for them without even asking for a thank you or looking for a thank you, just walking away quickly. That person that likes to pull on the side of the road and help people run out of gas, who run out of gas. That person that likes to just make sure that everybody around them is taken care of, and that person that gets fulfilled by that. Now, that's not the person that just likes to do that to hide their own issues. A person that likes to do that just to make sure that people are happy in their space. Because so many of us have had friends who drained us, friends who were not there for them as we were there for them. And that goes back to, again, your core. You need to make sure that people around you are different but similar, meaning that you actually grow each other, not just a one-sided situation. And how you do that is finding out and remembering and digging down deep and pulling up your core. Core is character as well, of course. Same difference. I'll just call it core for tonight because some people get confused with character. So your core, your being, that's what you really have to understand, what that is about. And so if anybody has any question about that, please let me know. And we will discuss that in detail and answer those questions for you. But the main thing is going to be really understanding of your space. Who's around you? Are they growing you? Are they depleting you? Are they deficient? Again, I use the word deficient, not bad, but are they deficient in your friendship? Are they deficient in your life? It is so critical to make sure that you know who you are, that you like who you are, and that you're comfortable in your own space. And that's not saying that being a hermit, that's not saying that being an extreme introvert. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying to make sure that you are comfortable with you. Whether you are 1 pound or you are 600 pounds. Whether you are 3 feet tall or whether you are 8 feet tall. Now, in that area, that can get kind of tricky when I say those things to people as far as the weight spectrum, especially. But to hit that point critically for you is your weight needs to be something that's healthy. And healthy does not mean 1 pound. Healthy means your blood pressure's in line. Healthy means you're not diabetic. Healthy means your blood sugar level is fine. Healthy means your heart rate is fine. Healthy means you can walk up and down a flight of stairs without getting tired. Healthy means you can play and run with your children. You can play with your friends. You're actively at a gym somewhere. You're actively on a after work or on a weekend basketball or sports team without being out of breath, without being tired, extra tired, without being... Healthy means that you can get around and function as a regular human being. So I wanted to be clear with that because some people get offended not understanding what I'm talking about. Healthy means that you're physically healthy. Physically healthy is not a size. So, and that's, again, getting back to your core. You will have friends who do not understand that. You will have friends who do not want you to get back to your core. Because guess what? They don't understand their core. And they've been deceived and lied to by their deficient friends. And now they want to make sure that you stay beneath them to make them feel better. But at the end of the day, you, again, have to should love you. That is the most critical piece of that is you have to like and love you. That way, people around you will have to like you or not like you because you're you. Now, again, do we grow? Yes, we grow daily. Do we stretch? Yes, we should be stretched. We stretch all the time. But do we change our core? Absolutely not. Do we change our character? Absolutely not. Do you change your likes and dislikes? They may adjust. Something as simple as, well, I didn't like seafood, now I do. Well, we all know, for the most part, it's because you never tried it. But at the same time, It may be a taste that you acquire over the years. Clothing, you may change also. That does not mean you're going to change your character or your core, because you went from suits to blue jeans, or from blue jeans to suits, or from blue jeans to skirts, or blue jeans to dresses, or dresses to blue jeans. That does not mean you change your core. What it means is that you're now comfortable and you have a different view of few things. But your sustainability is the most important part, because without that, you will not survive. Now, I say surviving mentally is just as strong and as important as surviving physically. So I want to make sure that you understood that about core. It is so critical to understand. I had a couple ask me years ago during a counseling session, well, over the years, he's changed over the years and she's changed over the years. And most of their issue was weight and then appearance. Well, guess what? The body is going to change naturally. And like I said earlier, it's about being healthy. I want you to be healthy, not 1 pound. I want you to be happy of who you are. I want you to be at peace with your core. I want you to love and like you. So I didn't change, or you didn't change. It was the same way from the beginning. I or you overlooked what was clearly there. So let's look back and let's not point fingers or try to shift blame. Was that attraction pure physically? And that's another one that I always try to tell my clients too when talking about relationships. I really enjoy and have them focus on the communication. It is so important to communicate without touch as long as you can. As long as you can. Phone calls, text messages, as long as you can. Because this brings out the true character. This lets a person know who you are through conversation, what you're thinking about, what you're focused on, and what you really care about. Now, you learn more things, of course, once more time together. But that first few moments, that first critical time that you meet someone, it is so important to, as much as you can, phone conversations. Texts are fine, but sometimes they get confused in a conversation if you answer a question or reply in the wrong area. But I think it's so important to understand each other thoroughly and listen. Active listening. You can hear, because people will tell you anything you want to know if you're listening for it. That's why I think it's so important to do that. As much as you can, communicate over the phone. Because communication is the key to strong, long-lasting relationships. And also, a person will get to know you. If some days you had a bad day at work, you've had a bad day if you have children, you've had a bad day in traffic, you just had a bad day, which is another subject I teach you how to deal with, and not to even think about bad days or all days are good, because you're on this side. All days are good because you get a chance to bless someone. You get a chance to have someone understand life in general, how good it is, and how bad they don't have it, and how bad you really don't have it. So that's why it's so critical when I say that to you. So the key to that is going to be just, again, conversating, getting to understand their likes and dislikes, how they respond to life in general. You talk to them and they're really short with you. Or you say, what's going on? I got stuck in traffic, or my boss was acting up today, or my employees were not acting accordingly today, or, the kids kept jumping out of the car and they spilled milk in the car. Well, at the end of the day, all this stuff shall pass away anyway. So if they can't handle pressure or stress, you need to either, one, show them how to handle it. Two, tell them that they're handling it totally incorrectly because they may not know it. But on the third side of that coin, if they don't handle it correctly and you can't deal with that, then guess what? That's when it's time to move on. You've had a lot of phone conversations. You've had a lot of communication that way. But now you understand, you know what? The next level is not happening because this person freaks out about everything and every little thing that I don't need to deal with this. Or I've got enough in my life right now. I need to move on. So that's why that critical, non-touching, as much as you can, needs to happen when you meet someone. This way you will stay away from it being all about lust. It being only physical. And that way it goes into the spiritual area. It goes into the understanding who that person really is, what makes that person tick. Now, of course, you're going to learn different things as you move closer, as you get closer, as you start talking more, finding out about the core of that person. But you'll find the main attributes, the main likes and dislikes. Because at the end of the day, with a job, relationship, you have to figure out what are you going to accept and what can you not accept. What are you going to live with and what can you not live with? That is super, super of importance, and that's super critical because those things can excite you or those things can trouble you, and then you can be troubled for years because you didn't want to admit those things that bothered you from day one because you were physically drawn. And you forgot all about what this person said that you did not like. This person did what you did not like. So it's so important to understand people before you get to that level of interest, before that level of relationship. Understand who they are and have them understand who you are, who the real you are. Because the moment you change, at the most opportune time, you may change back. And this person could step back and say, wow, I had no idea this was you. At that point, what do you say? Well, I'm sorry, I had to stop putting my game face on. I had to stop putting airs on. I had to stop being who I was not. And now, this is who I am. Now you both wasted time. Critical time that you can't get back. So it's of utter importance. Utter importance. Just be yourself. Because when you fall in love with you, people will easily fall in love with you as well. And it's more sustainable. Which means, of course, it lasts longer. Because like I said a moment ago, if you don't like your core, if you don't like you, then you're in trouble. And that person has to deal with the airs you're putting on, or with the face that you have to wear around them. And when they catch you out of character, out of your face, out of your phoniness, for a better word, now you got issues. So I really want everyone to really just do a self-analysis. I really want you to just look in the mirror. I want you to just pause and really think about what that really means. What that really means. what that really means to you. Do you like you? Do you love you? Do you like what you see? And again, our flesh will have us focus on our body. It is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, do you like you? Do you love you? Do you like where you are? Career? Relationships? And career, meaning business, meaning that's the biggest part. So if anybody is calling in, you can ask or comment right now, please. And I thought I had a caller from a 989 area code. And if you could unmute your phone and you can start speaking whenever you want in the comment or a question. So that's why it's so important to, again, guys, to like and to love yourself. I get quite a few clients who really getting to understand what a life coach is, which is awesome. Because I know that I can help because this is what I'm called to do. I know that I understand. And the best part about it is none of this information is coming from James Bond. It is all coming from the Holy Spirit. It's coming from a place of that's way beyond my thinking, way beyond my thought. It's something I was called to do. So the key to liking you, the key to understanding you is what have you done with your life so far? Have you lived for someone else? Or have you really lived for you? Have you started that business you thought about starting in the 6th grade, the 9th grade, the 10th grade? Or have you just realized, because a lot of us who are from the Midwest, a lot of us who are from different areas of the country, you have a certain, I want to say a certain core or a certain core that was kind of forced upon you, or a certain thought process, a mind regulation, for a better word, I guess. And again, they were not trying to be mean to you. They just did what they knew, thought they had to do. So you were taught to go to school, go to college, get a job, retire. Well, some of you have so much entrepreneurial spirit in you that you are just dying on the vine. Because now you're 40 and you have another 20 years to go or more to go. And you absolutely are just lost going to work. You are just so out of it because you are just sitting in the rat race, knowing that you should have started 4 or 5 companies by now. You should have started and sold, 4 or 5 companies by now. You have so much information about business in your heart, in your head, but yet you were taught, you were trained, you were told to focus on going to school, get a job, and that's it. Now, some of you have gone into fields. Some of you have gone into areas that are awesome. Some of you are nurses, doctors. Some of you understand, okay, I make my own schedule now. I work when I want to work. And that's awesome. That's a blessing. Because you've broken out of that mold. Because your parents were not deficient. Your parents really wanted you to explore you. And they wanted to sacrifice for you to explore you. They either helped you with paying off your college loans for you. They either helped you with paying the entire tuition. Or they just helped you kind of get started. They may have bought you your first car. They may have just, even better than all of that, they may have prayed for you. To stay on your game. To stay doing you. Because so many people don't do themselves. They are doing so many things and not themselves. That is the tough part. That is the understanding part. That is the part that most people have such a hard time just getting their hands around. I had a client today, actually, and he says, I was really frustrated with my daughter, and I'm so glad that you helped me out with understanding or trying to understand her thought process. She's out of college a couple of years now and doesn't want to do a 9 to 5. And she's doing a couple of different things. She teaches music in different parts of the world, to basically the everyday blue-collar person. So I have these music lessons for $20, $100 here and there, also out of buying a few homes to remodel, to flip, for a better word, to just really jumping up, getting the backpack anytime she wants to, and go South America and teach music for a month or two in the middle of nowhere. And they pay what they can pay. To come back, check on the properties, upgrade them, or re-rent them, or sell them even. And so she's going to be just about $100,000 this year. Now, I didn't say that for the $100,000 part. I said that because her dad, was against her exploring like that, but he also trusted her enough and loved her enough to say, you know what, I'm going to let you do what you need to do, but I'm here for you if you fall. Or she's not going to fall in that case. She understands because she has his work ethic. She just doesn't want to do 9 to 5. And that's okay because she has an entrepreneurial spirit. So as long as she can sustain herself, as long as she can grow herself, that is the most important thing, as long as she's happy and content, has joy. Now, I always say joy over happy because happy, like Kirk Franklin says, something has to be happening. So I respect and understand when he says that. So she has joy because joy is everlasting. So, guys, I wanted to thank you all tonight for listening. And I wanted to, again, ask those if you have called in, and you should be unmuted. If not, check your phone for your mute button, make sure it's off. And you can speak if you wish. Comment, questions would be much appreciated.
Hello.
Yes?
Hey, I have a question for you.
Yes.
With so much going on, how can you tell when people are really being genuine with you? Because everybody wants something from everybody. So how are you able to really tell what somebody wants from you?
Well, the best way to tell that, and I always tell my clients, the best way, the key to that, is this person meeting you halfway, for a better word, and this person giving as much as they're getting. Because so many people will drain you, ask for things for you, pull everything out of you, and I like the old term, they will come and they'll dip their ladle in your bucket and certainly take out of your bucket. They're draining you by taking out of your bucket daily, weekly, monthly, but they're not depositing anything in you. So it's so critical for you to know that, just say if someone's calling you or someone's texting you, if you have to call and text them every day and they may not call and text you but every once a week or once a month, that's an issue. If you have to say, you know what, I know you're busy running around, here's a little hey, hello, how you doing, have a good day, and they don't respond with that same type of thing, that's a problem. If you have to always make the effort, put the foot forward, so to speak, for a better word again, that's an issue as well. It should always be that give, take, give, take, give, take. When it becomes take, 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 it's time to move on. Did that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Oh, great. You're welcome.
But I also have another question if you have time to answer it.
I do.
Okay. You talked about communication, talking on the phone and texting, and you said you never gave a time frame. You said in terms of being physical, what do you think is a good time frame?
Well, I think that time frame can vary. That time frame, I always kind of tell my clients when I'm talking about that. I would say, I'll try to say 30 days. I'll try to say a minimum of 2 to 3 weeks. I really try to say, or the time frame, it really is based off of their connection. And I think I've said before to my clients that I like Steve Harvey's book, The 90-Day Rule, which is a good rule, I think, also as well. And that's more so, I think, when you're able to see each other physically, when you're in the same city, when you're in the same area, that can take place as well. I think that sometimes when it's a little different situation, I think, but it could vary. But the main thing with that, I think, is that at least 2 weeks to a month, and that's kind of a window I would say that people need to really stick by, because that way, and I say that because what happens with that, if you meet someone and say it's a day or a week later, and you're touching, you're kissing, it can become more physical than spiritual. It can become more physical than just where it needs to be. And that's the one dangerous thing that people can get into. Because I need to like you, I need to love you for you. I need to like you, I need to love hearing your voice. I need to love hearing you text good morning. I need to love your laughter. I need to love just your warmth through the phone before I say, wow, what a banging body. He's awesome. He's really hot. Because then your brain, because we're human, it goes haywire. It goes off of what you don't like and like I said earlier. Because when you talk on the phone, you can figure, okay, this person's had a bad day. Now they're like freaking out. They're on the highway talking to me, and they're cursing people out. They're yelling and screaming. But wait a minute. Now, when you meet this person, they could be the perfect body. They could be the most handsomest face you've seen in your lifetime. He or she, most pretty face. But now you just had a conversation with them over the last week or so, and you've seen them lose it on occasions that didn't make any sense. But now you ignore that because, wow, they're really hot. She's really fine. And then you get into the danger zone again of it being all lust instead of being nothing else.
So you don't think 6 months is too long to wait?
Well, it could be and it could not be. I think that really goes off to that person. It really goes off. I think 6 months if that person feels comfortable, that's fine. That's why I said I think the longest time I think is that, like I said a moment ago, is that I like that Steve Harvey 90-day rule. That's probably a time, I think that's a fair time. It's a good time, and people kind of can go with. But also, again, I've seen people do, again, 2 weeks, 30 days, where it kind of made sense at the time. And that's one thing that really comes down to that person. That's why I said about listening to what a person's saying while you're on the phone with them. Listening intently to figure out, again, what you like and don't like. Because this person's been on the phone with you for a week or 2 weeks, and they've been the same exact person. They haven't shifted in situations. They may have been, in traffic. They may have had an argument with their employees. They may have had to fire somebody. But yet they're the same person on the phone with you. And to me, that's a good sign of good character. And that's a sign of that may be a person that you may want to explore more in a week, in a month. But it comes down to, it really comes down to your listening, what you like or dislike, what you can put up and not live with, and live without of that person. Because if you can go and not seeing that person, but yet you can't go a day or two without hearing that person's voice, then that's a positive sign that that person is somebody you probably want to continue a relationship with. Because you haven't seen them to say, you may have seen a picture, but you haven't seen them to say, wow, this person's really, really, oh boy, this person's really hot. So you've just heard their voice for the most part, actual contact. You've heard them again, and their good days, and their busy days, and their slow days, and their bad days, and their good days. That's really what I would say focus on.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well, guys and ladies, that is the show for tonight. Thank you for the awesome caller that called in with the phenomenal and awesome questions. It's so critical that we get those questions answered in a timely fashion by a qualified person. So I think it's critical, and I know it's critical. So I think, again, next week we're going to talk about church hurt. It's something I discussed today with a local pastor friend of mine because he has some issues with membership, and I really have to explain to him in that area. So I'm going to go into that in detail and how it's so critical and important to understand and get over that as fast as you can. Because with that, we started blaming the Lord for things that we should not blame the Lord for. So next Thursday, we're going to talk about church hurt and how to get over it, how to move from it. So thank you very much for your time tonight. And I really appreciate it, and I'm blessed and honored to be able to even speak to you. And I hope that I answered your questions, those who call in, those who did not call in, those who wanted to call in and could not, and those who didn't feel comfortable calling in, but yet was listening intently. And thank you so much, and have an awesome night.
Come on, everybody, give God a praise in the temple. Tonight we have a prayer. You know you need a word from the Lord. Lift your hands in His atmosphere and say, Lord, speak to me. Come on, fellowship, help me say, Lord, give us a word. Give us a word. Our world's in trouble. Lord, give us a word. Our families are in trouble. Lord, give us a word. As we surrender ourselves unto you, we say all we need. Just one word. All we need, just one word. Won't you join in with the worship, everybody? Lift your hands and say, Lord, give us a word. Come on, let's sing. Give us a word. God, our lives are going to be better when you speak to us. Hallelujah. Children are coming home when you speak to us. Come on, you know it by now. Come on, say all we need. Come on, say it. Say it till you believe it. Just one word from you. Come on, just lean on them and say all we need. All we need. Just one word. Just one word. What the Lord promised that you would. You promised you would heal our land. We know things are getting better for you. Things are getting better for me. You promised you would heal our land. Somebody just wave back at me and say, I know that's right. I know that's right. You promised you would. You promised you would heal our land. You got it by now. You got it by now. Come on, lift your hands and say all we need. Just one word. Just one word from you. Grab your neighbor by the hand and say, things are getting better. Things are getting better. Things are getting better. Because all we need. Just one word. Just one word. Come on, stand up on your feet. I need about 3 more people to stand up on your feet and help me say, you promised you would. You promised you would. Point up to heaven with a sign of victory and say, you promised you would heal my land. You would heal our land. Somebody singing it like you really believe it. Come on, say, you promised you would. You promised you would heal our land. say, I see things are getting better for you. Come on, say, all I need is just one word.
All I need.
Just one word.
Just one word from you.
Doesn't matter what the doctor says. Doesn't matter what the lawyer says. But all I need is just one word.
All I need.
Just one word.
Just